Behind every brand, every movement, every leader, every transformation, there's a story. And intertwined in these stories is a message. And this podcast is for you, the next gen leader, coach, entrepreneur, and influencer. My name is Travis Brady, and I'm a branding mentor and sales story strategist. I hope you see me more of a guide than a host as I share the stories behind the brands, so you can take these stories, experiences, principles, and teachings and use them to share your story with the world. Welcome back to the story behind the brand. I'm super excited for this guest here today. And what I'm excited to is to ask questions, actually learn what he's talking about. You know, some of these guests, you know, I don't really get that opportunity to actually sit down and learn, but super open to what this guy has to say. Patrick Franz, investor and fund manager. I was asking him how he wants to be introduced, and he's all being all humble and stuff. So Patrick, fill in the gaps, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a story that I hope everybody can relate to. You know, up until 2017-ish, up until about 2017-ish, I had gone the route I thought was the route of success, or at least what I thought was success. So I went into like the sales career and sales training, sales coaching, sales management. And I mean actually closing sales, like high ticket, like, you know, car dealership sales or home remodeling sales, like selling roofing, solar, and those high ticket items. And I got into that because I figured all the salespeople were driving the nice cars, at least the ones I knew. So that's kind of where I went. But, you know, you tend to realize, go ahead.
So what was your first sales job that you got?
I started selling bumper stickers and keychains, telemarketing, when I was 15 years old.
Nice. I didn't even know you could work as a 15-year-old. Did you have to get like special permission from your parents or something?
My sister owned the company.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
I have an older sister, and instead of working at the lumber yard for my summer job or whatever, I got to start working there a little bit earlier than I was supposed to. But, you know, sis was hooking me up a little under the table, and I was a phone grunt.
Nice. So you went from sales. When did you start to get into real estate and fund managing and doing everything that you're doing now?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty recently. So tell us about your journey in that area.
Well, you know, what happened was I realized I could be in a great, well-respected position. I had people, you know, after me for me to work for their companies as a sales manager and sales trainer, because I was good at what I did and all that. And I figured you could get stuck doing that. Well, I could have until I'm 65 or 70 years old, right? It just year after year goes by and you're in something comfortable, you're making good money, you're well respected. But I didn't have any time freedom. And I kind of knew that, but I was sort of sucked into what I was doing, right? I was so close to it. I was, as they say, too close to the forest to see the trees, right? I was stuck in it. Well, my who became my mentor said to me one time at dinner, I kept taking phone calls from sales reps and I couldn't really have a good dinner, you know, because I was always busy till 9 o'clock every night and all this. And my who became my mentor looked at me and said, "How many more years of your life do you want to waste working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week?" And I was like, oh, damn. All right. Well, nobody's ever kind of
He knows me.
Yeah, no one's ever put it that way before. But of course the answer is like, you know, well, you know, of course I quit yesterday, but I got bills to pay and I got, you know, you're entrenched in what you're doing. It's so hard to make a shift. But that's kind of what happened is I just decided to take big risks. So the way I transitioned into it was, you know, I was a homeowner. I sold my house. I had a 6-month-old baby. I moved my family to be 5 minutes away from where my mentor lived, handed in the keys, you know, to my well-respected sales management position at a very big company, making good money, and got a little 250 square foot office. And we put 2 desks back to back on opposing walls. And then I sort of convinced my mentor to now start mentoring me. So yeah, that's how I got into it and stuff like that.
And who was your mentor? Who was that guy?
Desi Arnaz. He'll be speaking at your event as well.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he's a stud. I haven't officially met him in person, but I have talked to him a few times. So that's Dominique Bradley, my partner's main dude. So yeah, heard a lot of great things about him. So tell us about I mean, if you're on here, you know, people would assume you've had some level of success. So tell us about some of your accolades and successes that you've had being in this business?
Well, we got into what we like to talk about being the sexy side of real estate investing back then. My partner had been in it since 2012, and then I got into it with him in 2018 and really started crushing it, moving forward and making progress in 2019. And when we say the sexy side of real estate, I just mean for folks listening, we don't buy the property. We don't invest in the physical property. We invest in the underlying debt. So we like to say we buy the paper, not the property. And people know it as note investing, or mortgage note investing is how people know of it. And essentially, instead of buying a property and acting as a landlord, while collecting rent, then having all the responsibilities and the headaches that come along with being a landlord, of course. Right. But that's what most people understand, is to stack doors, right? Stack doors, buy more rentals, put more renters in there and collect a bunch of rent, and you'll, become wealthy. And people don't realize how hard that is. People say it's like passive to own a bunch of rentals and stuff, but man, it can be a real pain in the butt. So what we do is we step into the shoes of the bank. So we buy people's mortgages. So we purchase the underlying debt, take over ownership of the mortgage debt, step into the shoes of the bank, and instead of collecting rent from a piece of property somewhere with all those headaches, we collect mortgage payments from a homeowner. So rather than collect rent from a renter, we're collecting the mortgage payment from a homeowner. So you understand, if the toilet breaks or they got a leak or something like that, we don't get the phone call. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So what do you like about this business? This is very intriguing. Dom has actually talked to me about it. What do you like about this versus, I mean, obviously you chose it. So what made you go down this route instead of just like normal investing into, finding houses, commercials, flips? I mean, there's all kinds of different things in real estate is what I've come. So when someone says I'm a real estate investor, I was like, that's an interesting way to say it. So for you, what was that?
Well, I mean, okay, so house flipping is a glorified contractor. So, I mean, house flipper sounds neat, but really a house flipper is a contractor, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that knows how to remodel houses and knows how to manage crews, unless they're going to do all of it themselves, which is, hard. Okay, so it becomes very difficult to be a very good house flipper, and then the market's very saturated because you got Flip This House TV shows, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody and their brother.
It is getting to be like the thing on social media, right? Flipping the house. Yeah. That's I've thought that also a lot throughout the years. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. No, it's just tough, right? We know. I mean, they make it look easy to flip a house with major profit on television shows.
You know what it's called? It's called real estate porn.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, they make it look all good, but it's really messy underneath, behind the scenes. Right. So yeah. So that flipping houses, something that never really intrigued me too much. Even though I came from home remodeling business, I know it very well, but I just didn't want to do that work. And the competitive nature of it. So, and then, being a landlord is an interesting dynamic. Look, you have the liability 100% to the property as the landlord because you are the homeowner. So you have all the liabilities. Like if an old lady walks by and trips on a hose, I'm saying, gets injured in front on the sidewalk, and you're the one that has to keep maintenance on the property, make sure there's no leaks in the roof. And then you put a tenant in there. Well, now we got tenant rights and tenant laws that you got to maintain. And it becomes very much a headache. Now, for those folks out there, of course, that have, bought a rental property and they've put a tenant in there, and it's just the best angel tenant on the planet that pays their rent on time every month and doesn't give no headaches, and they ain't never had a leaky toilet in 5 years and all. Yep. Wow, good for you, right? You found the unicorn. Beautiful, right? Lucky charm. So
yeah, good luck finding that. It's usually the opposite, where you go to your house and there's numbers on top because they were using it as a whorehouse. Dude, true story.
No doubt, right? It's crazy.
True story. It's such a long story, but I have this one house. I still have nightmares about it. I have a nightmare that I still own the house and something's wrong with it.
Oh, no.
I kid you not. That's on top of that's the nightmare I have. And then the nightmare is me stuck in a cubicle making phone calls. Those are the two nightmares I have.
That's funny, dude.
Anyways, go on what you're saying.
That's dude. But I mean, you get it then. And I think most people get it. And so what we do, right, is we buy someone's mortgage. And so let's say that you just for argument's sake, for people to follow along with raw numbers, let's say the house you live in is worth $300,000. You still owe the bank 250 grand on the thing. Okay. And I go to that bank and I buy that 250 grand loan that you owe them, and I take it over. Okay. So you get a transfer letter in the mail that says now you got to pay your mortgage payment every month to a new lender, not the same one you've been paying. And it's called a transfer letter. So most people know what I'm talking about from being a borrower. Like if you've ever been a homeowner and you've had a mortgage and you're listening to this, more than likely at some point when you've been paying your mortgage on time every month and everything's been going fine, at some point you got a transfer letter in the mail that said your lender has transferred the ownership of your mortgage to a different lender. Yeah, and so don't pay your mortgage payment to them anymore. Right. Yeah. So most people get it that way. Well, when you get a transfer letter like that, sometimes it's been transferred to me. So you're going to start making your monthly mortgage payment every month to me. So the beauty of it, Travis, is that you get passive cash flow paid to you monthly from that piece of real estate without the headaches of being a landlord. Okay. You, just like the bank, because you're playing under the rules of the bank, stepping into the bank's shoes. So you have that property as your collateral. If you don't get paid as agreed, then you can take the real estate. Okay. So let's talk about, I own a few rental properties right now, not because I went out onto the retail market and competed with all the other house flippers and landlords and tried to buy a rental property. I bought a note for way cheaper. I bought a note for a lot less money. and I backed into owning a rental property because as a note investor, you sometimes end up owning the real estate.
Okay. Okay. So shit hits the fan. You do actually go in and own the real estate. Yeah.
I mean, think about this. Have you had a mortgage?
Because you're the new bank, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it this way. You can only do 3 things with your mortgage, Travis. If you have a mortgage with some bank, you as the borrower are only going to do 3 things, dude. You're either going to pay your mortgage as you agreed to pay it. You're going to pay off your mortgage early, or you're going to stop paying your mortgage. Okay. That's what could happen. So what we do when we buy these mortgages is the way we calculate our numbers and we set our buy criterias and things like that is that we're buying mortgages in which if the person decides to pay us as agreed, we love it. We say that would be fantastic. For the next 23 years, we're going to make passive cash flow without the headaches of being a landlord, mailbox money every single month by way of mortgage payment, not deal with phone calls, issues, repairs, nothing. And we're going to be fine because we're making double-digit yields on these, Travis. So I'm getting a better yield than I would on a rental property anyways. We're getting 10, 11, 12, 13, 14% annualized returns on these note deals. So let's just say that. Would you be okay making 13% on your money for 23 years straight, totally passively, just by collecting money in your bank every month?
Everyone's going to say yes to that. Yeah, this is how you sell it for people coming in and wanting to. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways. Obviously, you chose this one to make money through real estate. So you offer people this opportunity to come in and buy these notes. So how does that work exactly?
Well, what happened is what we do organically spawned into people wanting us to create some sort of coaching program is kind of how it went down. After people knew what we were doing and got attracted to what we're doing, because obviously to be able to buy the paper, step into the bank's shoes, collect passive cash flow with collateral, not have headaches is quite intriguing to some people. Mm-hmm. Some people were coming to my partner and I, Desi, and saying, hey, can you teach me? Can you teach me? And we were saying, well, we don't have a school or anything. I mean, we're not in that business. We just do it ourselves, right? Yeah. But so many people asked us that it became natural for us to provide.
Now you have to come in here. My business partner was like, let's fucking go.
Hey, Dominique, how you doing, buddy?
No.
Hey. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I've known Dom for so long.
This means the podcast. Let's go. We're podcasting right now. Yeah.
But that's the theory is that when we got into it, we got very good at it. We started buying notes. We had success. We were amazed at the things that do sound too good to be true, which is if they pay us as agreed, we're fine. If they pay us off early, we're great. And if they don't pay us, we're fine. That just goes, wait a minute, right? Hold on. This seems too good to be true. So we got into it heavily and then we started coaching other people. So Note Investor University, became a brand. And in talking to your audience, right, directly is that wasn't, we didn't come up with a brand because we wanted to come up with a brand. Just because, okay, Note Investor University obviously became something that spawned organically because of what we were doing heavily and what we were involved with heavily. It wasn't something we just invented to try to get involved or to try to fake something. We went out there with who we thought we are. And nothing better than with Professor Desi, who you're going to get to meet, and you'll realize he's just a wealth of knowledge. But with Professor Desi and myself being instructors, we called it the Note Investor University because we really believe that we've created a university style format that's extraordinarily easy to follow, that will get somebody from A to Z and become a pro at this, just like if you were to go buy someone's house flipping course, right? But we don't teach you how to flip a house. We teach you how to step into the bank's shoes. And so anyways, that just spawned itself. So Note Investor University is our coaching.
Yeah.
We teach
I love that. Here's what I've kind of noticed over the years of working with a lot of really successful businesses is, they get, you ask them a question like, well, how did you brand like that? Why did you do that? And a lot of them that they just go, I don't know what you're talking about. Because here's what I've noticed is that leaders do the natural thing that they're supposed to be doing unconsciously. So when people say that, but they abide by these simple messages. So there's a framework of which they do. And so with a lot of clients, we're just coming in and really helping fill the gaps, but also show them where the magic really is. But yeah, I love that, man. They don't teach you real estate in school. They teach you, I was almost wondering, like, what are you teaching my son that's going to school every day? I just keep going down the AI rabbit and keep thinking how useless their information is. So you have kids how many, tell us how many kids you have and their names again.
Yeah, two. No, it's okay. Two. Yeah. Everly and Callie, two girls. So yeah, one of them 6.5 and the other one just turned a year. So Everly is my 6.5-year-old. And in fact, my investment fund is named Everly May Capital Group. Nice. And Everly May is my 6.5-year-old's name. Do you want
to pass it down, sir?
Yeah, obviously that's one of the main points. And that's what, we teach. So, that's kind of like you said, man, organically, all that we can do is, or all that we wish to do, I should say, is to help spread information and give information and knowledge to people about what we do and how it works for our family. And we're all about legacy. So yes, one of the big things we're going to do is create a legacy and structure for our whole family. We will be the change makers in our family tree because we didn't come from wealth and money, but our grandkids and great grandkids definitely will because of us. And we want to be able to help others do the same darn thing. So, we're all about that. We're all about passing it down to your kids. We're all about the financial intelligence. We're all about, of course, they teach us only enough in school and college to get out and employ ourselves in the 40-40 plan, which is to work a 40-hour-a-week job for 40 years of our life and then retire with this really great wish of this great dream of this retirement where everything's great. And then, most people don't get to that. The average person is still in debt when they retire and they can't retire. And so it's just like we all bought the wrong plan. We were all fed this hogwash, as you were saying. The schooling system doesn't teach us this stuff. So we're all about the financial intelligence, teaching financial intelligence to the future generations, and also getting into investment vehicles that maybe most people don't know about. Maybe it's not so oversaturated. Maybe, every other guru on the internet is not talking about it. And so what a cool way for somebody to get into something that can become a path to financial freedom that is clearer of a path and quicker of a path than I've ever seen, man. And I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. So that's why we got into it heavily. And that's why we want to coach other people. I talked to a guy the other day, Travis. We ended up doing calculations and reverse engineered that 14 transactions, 14 note deals would set him financially free. He'd be able to not work his 40-hour-a-week job anymore, and he could concentrate on other things. 14 deals. So it puts things in perspective to know, people work 40 hours a week for 40 years of their life, never to get wealthy, never to become financially free, and then not even to have a good retirement. And we're talking about this gentleman I was talking to on the phone, 14 deals, 14 transactions, boom. And the guy's like 37 years old. I'm like, oh man. So that's what amazes me is like, people want financial freedom. Financial freedom shouldn't be about age. When are you going to retire? Oh, I hope 65 years old or so. People think it's an age. It's passive cash flow that sets you free.
They branded it really well. 40-40 forever is what the brand should be.
Totally, dude. And
I've never heard the 40-40, but that is true, right? Yeah. Work 40 hours and then Yeah, in 40 years, you'll have enough to, and who even knows what that will look like? Like, I don't expect, any money from the government when I'm retired. Social Security, I can't expect on that. I think it's really,
No. Yeah.
I've noticed people who go to work for someone, you give up, there's certain pros and cons with it, right? You want security in the paycheck, but you ultimately don't have security in the job that delivers the paycheck, right? And so it's really interesting how we do that. And I think at the end of the day, you just gotta, I don't know. I'm such a big believer in entrepreneurism and having your own business, but I used to preach that all the time. Everyone should have their own business. But as I get into it, I was like, not everyone should, but I think everyone should find another vehicle, regardless of what they are doing, to essentially accelerate that wealth. And no investing has been that for you, is what it sounds like.
Financial freedom comes from passive cash flow. Don't get it twisted. Everybody thinks they need to go out there and find a way to make $2 million. They need to hit it big. They need to reinvent the wheel. No, you don't. Number one, you ain't a famous rapper. You ain't going to get a hit single. Number two, you suck at basketball. Number three, you can't hit a golf ball far enough. Okay, so none of that. So it's like, look, let's figure out a real true, not some hogwash guru bullshit garbage. True math. Like with this guy, I said, we do 14 note deals of this size and you're able to raise this amount of private capital. I can teach you the systems to do it. And we do 14 transactions. You can quit your 40-hour-a-week job and concentrate on being an entrepreneur the rest of your life. 14 deals. Come on. It's ridiculous. Travis, when do you heard a chiropractor can adjust 14 backs and never work again? Shut the practice down.
Well,
it just doesn't work.
chiropractors have to see it for the rest of their life, so you're kind of screwed there.
When do you know of a dentist that's adjusted, 14 people's teeth, and then they can shut the practice down and retire because they have enough passive cash flow? It's not. You can't show me another business. But if you do 14, if this guy did 14 note deals, which is paperwork, we could do that in 90 days if he was really a hustler. I mean, dude, you could be financially free. And he only needed, what did he need? I think he needed $4,600 a month coming in. That would replace his job income, $4,600 a month. There's 14 deals done.
So is this what Desi sold when you first came in? Is this what he sold to you?
Yeah, I mean, Desi didn't have a coaching program then. So
okay. You guys helped do this together. Are you partnered in on it with him?
Yeah. I'm the co-founder of the university and the fund. And like I said, I had to sell my house, move my family, quit my job and get an office and so that Desi would sit with me and train me. And I had a pen and yellow pad back then. So it was different. Now we created Note Investor University to spread all this information and all this wealth of information about this investment vehicle to everybody in a really concise format. So all you people have it very easy. You don't got to sell your house and move your family to learn this stuff.
Yeah, for real. That's a good origin story for your brand though. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I think what a good topic is, because at the end of the day, what I've really noticed is that there's all these different ways of making wealth. One is, do I trust that person's going to lead me to the path? And then two, is that actually a vehicle that's going to fit the lifestyle that I want to live? I think those are the questions I ask. So obviously you trusted Desi. What made you trust Desi compared to like other guys? Because you uprooted your entire life.
Yeah. I mean, he's the real deal. Okay. He's done everything there is to do. He started off being an entrepreneur, owning his first business when he was an 18-year-old, which most people don't do. He was an entrepreneur at 18. Guy's 72 years old now. He's owned 3 Century 21 firms. He's owned mortgage businesses. He's been a real estate agent, owned 27 rental properties at once in his portfolio. He's flipped houses. He's done this. The guy's done everything. He's been through it. So I'm like, what a great person to absorb information from, because he's been through it all. He's not somebody who is chat GPTing me the information saying he knows it. The guy's been through the trenches. And so what a great guy to learn from.
And so for the information. Yeah. And so for the people that are listening, what advice would you give them for like choosing the right partner? Cause I feel like we talk about it in marriage, but I almost feel like it's more important in business, choosing the right partner.
Well, I mean, look at somebody's real life. This is just what I do. I'm not giving anybody advice. It's just what I do. And I'm only able, that's how I teach
guys. This is the greatest advice, by the way, if you're listening.
And I'm only able to tell people.
Everyone has their advice, right?
Only what I do, not what you should do. Look, what I do is I look at someone, if they have the life I want to have. Is somebody at a level where I want to get there? Now, if they are, they're somebody probably I should listen to. There's somebody that's done it and they're where I want to be. Let's maybe listen to that person. They probably could tell you the steps to get there. Okay. It's the people that you don't know about their real life. It's the fake facade mentor guy or teacher guy on the YouTube or the Instagram or whatever. Oh, I'll teach you how to make millions and this and that and the other. And look, does the dude himself really have millions? Does that dude really himself have the life, the house, the family? Is that the individual you'd want to be? If not, then why learn stuff from him? It was the same thing about going to school. Is that teacher teaching our kids something really where we want our child to be? You know? So no, it's that's what I'd look at. So yeah, if you're going to go out there and get a mentor, I think it's really somebody should be where you want to be. And it's somebody that you think, if I follow this person, they're going to give me straight advice, not some BS, because they've been through it already. And they've, you know, gotten past all the hurdles. And so why go make the same mistakes? Yeah. Just copy.
Have you, usually everyone has a few bad partner deals in business. Any bad partner deals that fell apart? What advice would you give to people to avoid things like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, here's the unfortunate part about this life is that unfortunately some of that stuff is just unavoidable. Okay, I think it's not the problems that occur that are the big issue, because there's always going to be problems. You know that there's always going to be a bad business partner or something. Okay, that you couldn't have judged prior. You did all the judgment you possibly could. And you thought you made the right decision. Something happened. That is just how life is in business. Yeah. It's not the problem that happens that affects you. It's how you react to it and how you handle it and what kind of a problem solver you are, what kind of posture you hold in those situations that separate the people that are, you know, successful and not. So you can't help that. But yeah, of course, dude, you know, come on. I've been an entrepreneur in sales management for 25 years. I used to sell venture capital for startups back in the day when I was 19. Gosh, I have my own invention. I have 3 patents in my name and launched a product to the market, manufactured in China. I mean, I've done all this crazy stuff that we didn't get into in my past. And dude,
well, yeah, now you want to talk about all of this stuff.
But along the whole way, of course, yeah, you know, I've had bad business partners. I've been robbed. I've been stolen from. I've had people that, you know, turned out to be bad people that I thought were good people, and all these things. And all I take it is that those were wonderful learning experiences for me. All these little chips with the chisel that have been attacking me all these years throughout all these endeavors have carved me into a stone man, right? And then who I am now. So these are unavoidable things, but how you react and how good of a problem solver you become and what kind of posture you hold, those are the things you can control.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is really just being clear with expectations coming in. I think it's kind of like getting married, you know, if you approached it that way, right? Like how long have you been married, by the way?
Oh, geez. I've been with her, 10 and a half years now, 11 years. Yeah. 10
and a half years. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Congrats. Yeah, I would say every partnership, whether it's a romantic or a business one, you go in with expectations, and a lot of those expectations, they're unconscious. I'm expecting this person to do this. I'm expecting them to be here and those things. And so if you don't talk about those things, it definitely leads. And also at the end of the day, some people are scumbags and can't tell you the truth too. And through the process, and there's no communication through there. And I learned through divorce too, that 2 truths could lead to war as well through the process. So
Sure. No doubt. Wise words, brother. No doubt. Yeah. No, I mean, I would just say for people to learn lessons from what they deem to be bad experiences. If you can learn good lessons and grow from bad experiences, are they actually bad? So I mean, that's just a different way people need to think about things. I would recommend. You know,
one of the biggest.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I mean, is really good advice. One of the best advice I ever get is like, successful people, they don't make the right decisions. In fact, they make a lot of wrong decisions. They make all the wrong decisions. But the thing that they do that other people don't is whatever decision they make it right for them. Yeah. And so like coming is like, is this going to be right for me? Like, that's not really the thing. The thing is like, are you going to make it work for you? Like, is it right to hire the personal trainer? Well, are you going to do what the personal trainer says? Are you going to come in and ask questions? Like what's your expectations coming into it? And I think that's where it all starts right there.
Something to be said about that whole, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. That's a lot of truth behind that. Yeah. I think the lessons and the lessons and the mentors and, the opportunities have always been here in front of us.
Yeah. And I love we were just talking about Jesus with him walking in water behind, like, I think the same goes for Jesus. You know, when you're ready, like Jesus, here's what I've learned. through my process. Are you spiritual or more faithful, or like how would you really define like your belief in God? Because everyone puts a different like brand to it.
Yeah, I'm faithful. I'm spiritual in the higher power and the creator that we were created. We aren't just here. Poof. It's, I obviously vibrate at a much higher level than most that just think, oh, we're just here. I don't know. It's like, that's wild. Okay,
That's
so
usually
we're created.
I've noticed that's usually not agnostics. What are they? Space in the name. They're it's not agnostic is like you don't really care or you don't really put enough attention into it, right?
Yeah, and I think
Atheists
yeah.
say
Oh, an atheist, sure. An
yeah, I don't
atheist
know
just
why
doesn't
in the heck
believe in a
yeah.
God or creator.
Go ahead.
No, I mean that's all. I mean, I think. Look, if I asked my sister this one time. This is just goofy, but I said like, so what's the only way that you know of that a human being can be created? Like proof in the pudding. What is the way we know of that a human can be created? What's the answer?
Comes out a woman's vagina.
Sure. So that means there had to have been a male in order to impregnate the female, in order to fertilize the egg, in order for this process to happen, in order for there to be a baby born, right?
Yes.
Okay, well then, if that's the only way that we know for a human being to be created, and we can all agree on that, then there had to be the first two humans, brother. Okay, understood. Period. There had to be, because the only way we know of a human can be made is there has to be two humans to make another one. So that sort of spawned my mind into thinking.
Yeah, some people might say, well, we evolved from chimps.
Okay, show me that proof.
That the proof is really hard, in my opinion. Not saying that I'm not open to the conversation, but there's a huge gap between here's what humans look like and. Anyways, to go off things, so you're spiritual. Coming back to the conversation through the process is, I think God can only help you when you're ready to be helped too from God. Sometimes this is what I've learned recently is God listens to you no matter what. That I know for a fact. He'll listen to you whether you're angry, regardless of what you call him, sad, depressed, whatever. He's always going to listen to you, but you can't listen to him when you're angry. You can't listen to him when you're sad. And I've realized that in order to really listen, there has to be a very, I guess the state would be like getting on his level of frequency and how he operates. So anyways, that's just been a recent like epiphany with me, going back to your comment, like when you're ready, the teacher appears. Yep. So that sounds like that's how it was with you and Desi. Here you are.
100%. Desi's a very religious Christian. It's all for the betterment of other people. This is the whole point we're here. I believe one of the big points we're here, right? We all joke, and I maybe had this conversation back in junior high even years ago. I won't age myself, but the bottom line is it's like, what if everybody died all of a sudden? You were the only person left on the planet. You'd be so depressed, so bored. You wouldn't know what to live for anymore. Really, for real, right? There just wouldn't be. So then you go that route and you go, well, that'd be the truth. So then isn't really everybody's supposed to be living for everybody else? And isn't it the value we've been all taught? It's the value we provide to others that gives us what we want in our life, and that kind of thing. So yeah, dude, it's like, what do you have to offer other people? How can you benefit other people's lives? Not how you can tear people down, not how you can judge others, hate others, none of that. Try to get one over on somebody else and so forth. And all that stuff's very easy to do for everybody. Super simple. It's harder to be ethical, and it's harder to go put yourself out there, your time, your energy, and your effort for unselfish purposes to try to help others. But Zig Ziglar said it the best: the more people you help get what they want in life, the more you'll get what you want in life. So I think of it that way. And I think like what you do, bro. You work hard, you do all these podcasts, helping people like me get my story out. You're doing this Big Brand X event I'm coming to. You work so hard, man, but you're also doing all that work for a bigger purpose. And there's a lot of other people you're helping in the meantime. And therefore that's what grows you and grows your brand. Yeah.
Always growing up, what was important to me is do something that I love and try to figure out how to make money doing it. And I think a lot of people would agree with that too, but I think where people get lost is like, oh, it always has to be fun and always has to be sunshine and rainbows. And let's be honest, we've all been to Disneyland and it is not all sunshine and rainbows. When's the last time you went did you take your kids to Disneyland?
Oh yeah, bro. No,
what's the longest you waited in line to get on a ride?
Forget it. I always buy the fast pass, and like, you know, we bring Patricia, my wife's mom, and she has a little scooter thing she rides around because she's a little older. So we get front of the line, you know,
Nice.
front of the line with the scooter. No, but you know, what you said is really good. You know, Travis, that it is about tying together your intention, your spirituality, and your motivation to help others all in one sort of package. And once people learn how to do that, they really find their intention and they start to have fun at it. Now, is making money designed to be fun? I don't know about you, bro, but I have a lot of fun playing golf.
Yeah.
I have a ton of fun playing golf. I can go out there and hit hours worth of chip shots and have a great old time and have fun. That don't make me no money because I ain't good enough to make money at that game. But boy, that's what I have fun doing. So if it were just about having fun, I'd be out on the golf course broke all day long, just having fun hitting balls because that's fun. Right. It's not fun to have to bust ass. It's not fun, you know, necessarily to have to do it. But Jesus did a whole bunch of things that weren't necessarily fun. So it's really not about fun. We'll have enough fun in life. There's enough time to have fun. Trust me, human beings are like every chance I get, I'm going to try to have some fun. You know, that's how we roll. So in the meantime, what are you doing for your purpose and to help others really? And if you can start to make that fun, gosh, you are a rare breed and good for you, man. But that's reaching a whole nother level of vibration that most people never get to. Boy, if you could be having fun working and make that your enjoyment, winning, doing something you absolutely love. Oh, winning.
Have you heard Tony Robbins talk about the human evolutionary needs before?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah. And this kind of goes right along with our conversation. You know, most people are like, they're trying to create certainty. They're trying to get the bills paid. They're trying to get the food going. And then more people, so they, and I have this in the branding blueprint. If you guys want to go, it's findyourbrandxfactor.com. I have this all laid out, but the highest level of vibration they talks about for human beings, which is giving, you know, focusing on what you can give. And when he talks about that, he said, every human need we ultimately want love. We want certainty. We want spontaneity. We want strength and progression, right? We want all these things, but all of these things can be simply delivered to us when we start giving more. And I don't know how he framed it. This was like years ago. I don't know. It just like in my mind, it just like finally really made sense because you hear that, but you don't really hear it. You kind of go on operating the way you're doing. But if you could really focus on that and make the brand the center of that, you know, it really does go a long way in creating the things that you want. And there's shit along the way, as Patrick would know. How did your house get cleaned up? Do you want to tell us the story as we wrap things up here?
Oh yeah, I had a plumbing backup. I had a party for my 1-year-old's birthday party, and like 40-50 people came to my house. And then after that, I had some plumbing backup, and it destroyed the bathroom, into the garage, my home gym. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, so thanks for bringing that up for me to tell everybody. But yeah, dude, it was
makes you more normal, bro.
It was kind of a shitty weekend. No, it was
yeah,
funny. No, yeah, dude. This has been like a great show, though. I think that, like we said, I think me and you could probably do one of these for an hour and a half, no problem. Yeah, it ended up being a shitty weekend. But look, it's how I handled it, okay? It's how my posture was and how I acted in that situation, in that time of need, when my wife was freaking out and, you know,
I'm learning how to do that better too. I was on the way for a pre-event party for Brand X about a month ago, and somehow I managed to lock the keys in my car. And deep down, I'm like so fucking pissed, but one of my clients is there and we just filmed a documentary, and luckily we were going to go like super, super early. So we weren't going to be late. And I'm just like, all right, the worst possible thing could have happened and it didn't. So we're good. And I'm just like,
yeah, you get over it. I think you get older, you know, you get older and you stop caring about the BS. That's why I love running into them 87-year-old dudes that just don't get crud no more. They've been through it enough. I don't care. Yeah. So I think the older you get, you start to be a little more mature about like, dude, this is just life, man. You used to freak out about the smallest things, get all aggro. Yeah, for sure. Well, we were young and dumb and full of testosterone. Yeah. So anyway,
I love it, dude. I love it. That was perfect.
Yeah. No, it's all good, dude. So the message to everybody here, I guess for me is this: you can have the ability to change your life drastically financially. It can happen very quickly with the right mentor and the right vehicle. Financial freedom is not about hitting it big. It's not about you trying to figure out a way to make $1 million. Okay, that's highly unlikely that you'll do that. So one of the things you can do is you can do a simple transaction and add $200, $300, $400 a month passive cash flow to your life. by doing the work once. And then you can do another one of those deals and you can add another $200, $300, $400 a month of passive cash flow to your family's life without having to redo the work again. Just do that once. And you can just do that a couple times. Now, if I'm saying $200, $300, $400 per deal, okay, you reverse engineer your number. How much you need? $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month? What affords you the current lifestyle you have right now without you buying, Bentleys and all that private jet and shit? No. What affords you your life right now? Your car payment, your house payment, your food, your this, your that, your lifestyle right now. How much money do you need per month to live the life you live right now? Then divide that by $300 or $400. It'll show you how many note deals you need to do.
Okay.
That's simple. So what if you had to do 15? What if you had to do 20? What if you had to do 25? Well, I guarantee I really challenge people to come back to me and tell me another thing where you can do 20 to 25 transactions and retire. I'm looking for something else, but I found it here and I'm sticking with this until you show me something better.
I love it. I love it. Well, he's going to be presenting at Brand X on the men's panel. Super grateful to have you, man. And we got an awesome lineup. There's a lot of other speakers you're going to meet and a lot of other people to introduce you to. So if you guys aren't going yet, how come you're not? Well, you're probably like, well, I got other stuff I got to do. I got a client. I got this and that. And here's the thing. You'll never know how much your brand and business can work until you step out of it and see what's left. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is step away, but sometimes that's the best thing you can do. It's not, do you need a break from your business? Your business needs a break from you. Okay, get out of the grind, come to Brand X. I'll introduce you to amazing people. If you're listening right now, send me a message and I got an offer that you won't be able to refuse. You can if you want. I'm just saying you won't be able to, but message me. It's going to be absolutely worth it messaging me. Okay, share the episode because I know you know someone that can really benefit from this. Okay, Patrick, how do they follow you?
Oh, at the Patrick Franz. At the Patrick Franz. You find me out there on the social media. Patrick at Everly May. That's easy to remember. We talked about my daughter's name today. The name of our fund, but Patrick at Everly May, EVERLYMAE, everlymay.com. Patrick at everlymay.com. Feel free. I mean, yeah, if you have questions about notes or the sexy side of real estate, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. My I need to get this thing fixed. It's like
keeps
slowly. I keep messing. I'm like, girl over here going. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Be inspired in what you're doing. You are the Brand X Factor. Share your story out to the world. Good talk.
Hey, you know you have a story to share with the world, which means you need to get on more life stages. We have a jam-packed schedule in 2024 full of events, including our biggest event year to date, Brand X. Go to benextgen.com/speak. Again, benextgen.com/speak. Or you could just click the link in the description. Fill out an application. Our team will reach out to you and show you how our speaker partnership works. Get on a stage, get video, blow up your brand, blow up your business. Let's go.